Good evening and welcome to another edition of Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Well, there's lots to talk about tonight, from the tragic death of an iconic chief minister to the state of opposition parties in India. Joining me on the programme tonight from the BJP, senior leader and party spokesperson, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, Congress spokesperson, Dr. Abhishek Singhvi, the National Secretary of the CPI, Mr. D. Raja, and a very special guest with us tonight, someone who Delhi's journalists are very familiar with, the former media advisor to the Prime Minister, Dr. Sanjay Baru, is with us this evening. Well, we'll also be joined by Dr. Shashi Tharoor, the Minister of State for External Affairs, on that issue of Twitter. He's perhaps the most famous Twitterer. I don't know what word to use, so we'll be joined by him later on in the program. But first up tonight, in a big embarrassment to the Narendra Modi government, the Gujarat High Court today set aside the ban on Jaswant Singh's book on Jinnah, saying the ban is an intrusion of fundamental rights of citizens. Now, the court said that it is not discernible from the text of the notification as to how the contents of the book are objectionable or against national interest, that the notification is silent on how the contents of the book would affect and disturb public tranquility, and that no opinion has been expressed by the state in the notification, that lack of opinion means lack of thinking, and lack of thinking means lack of understanding. Which brings us to our first question tonight: is banning books justified? Mr. Prasad, what's your first reaction to what the court said today?
Well, Nadine, in the ordinary course, a book should not be banned. Let me be very clear about it. In the case of Jaswant Singh book itself, there are many other BJP governments all over the country. Except Gujarat, no one else banned it. But the right to ban a book in a given circumstances is a power available to the authorities. Maybe the government of Gujarat thought that because of sentimental attachment to Sardar Patel and the references about him as being one of the creators of Pakistan, the people didn't like it. Now the High Court in the
People never read it.
Just a minute. The people in the given the court in the given fact has quashed it. And just to correct you, the court has also given the liberty that you can reapply yourself and come with a reasoned order if you so wish.
No, yeah.
I am not sitting here in judgment over the course adopted by the government of Gujarat. But such a power is available. And in all over the country, in many cases, books have been banned. Lajja was banned by the government in India. And
but should they be banned?
Yes, let me again.
We're talking about the larger question.
Yes. I am all for freedom of expression and freedom of press. In ordinary circumstances, books should not be banned. I told you many BJP government didn't ban it. But there may be cases when a book is intended to sensationalize, intended to provoke. Maybe the government of the day, upon sufficient ground, can take that. But I would trust more the mature democracy of India over the last 60 years. We learn to trust that.
But let me ask you a couple of things. One is that how many people in the state government in Gujarat even read Jaswant Singh's book? It's a pretty fat book. It took me a week to read it. How many people really read it, and there's really nothing in the book that would incite anything? I mean, I've read it too.
Well, then now you have changed the courts. But since you have asked this question, let me ask you a question to myself. Either you become a historian or become a political leader. My good friend Abhishek Manu Singhvi, can he afford to write a book critical of Indira Gandhi and Nehru? He can write that.
But surely, but why should you ban it? Let people judge for themselves.
Just a minute. Banning is a separate part. You have asked me the question about the book. Second question, being a very blunt question. Can anyone stay in NDTV by criticizing publicly Dr. Pranay Roy, Barkha Dutt and Nidhi Razdan?
Of course. We fight with each other every day.
Don't become hypocritical,
No,
Nidhi
that's
Razdan.
not
Be
true.
very frank to you. You can have a right. Therefore, our point was, Jaswant Singh wrote a book a couple of years ago, this call to honor.
Tuba.com